In this episode, I'm talking about how to broaden your perspective. One of the keys to success is to broaden your perspective, to be able to zoom into your situation when you need to zoom in and to zoom out of your situation when you need to zoom out in order to help you make a better decision. And in this episode, I'm going to give you some strategies from a famous creative thinker to help you do just that. But first, let's take a look at an old legend, the legend of the 6 blind men. They came into the jungle and they found an animal. None of them knew what the animal was, none of them knew what it looked like, but each one grabbed a different part of the animal and they made their own assumptions. One grabbed the tail of this animal and said, this animal is like a rope. Another one went to the trunk of the animal and grabbed his long nose and said, you know what, no, this animal is just like a snake. Another person went to the ears of the animal and said, no, it's like a fan. Another man went and grabbed the legs of the elephant and said, nope, this animal is like a tree. Another one grabbed the tusk and said, nope, it's like a spear. Another one felt this big body and said, no, it's like a rug. Each one of these blind men had a part of the animal correct, but they didn't have the entire thing collectively. Obviously, you know this animal was an elephant. This is how we are a lot of times with our information. We'll take bits and pieces, small, tiny pieces of information, and make big, broad conclusions. So what I want to do, I want to revisit or visit a strategy called the 6 hats strategy from a gentleman named Edward de Bono, who is a world famous creative thinker. And he says that in order to look at your situation, instead of taking a look at it in a 2-dimensional way, let's be able to look around the situation in order to make better decisions. Now, you might be trying to decide how to become a better version of yourself, how to be a better athlete, how to be a better leader, a better business professional. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this simple little tool to help you identify what you can do to improve. And we call these things the 6 thinking hats. 6 thinking hats. And each hat has a different color. And each color has a different perspective when you put that hat on. Let's take a look. The first hat you want to put on is the white hat. The white hat represents information, data, science. What do the numbers say? Doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about what you want to have happen. What are the numbers? The white hat is very important because it allows you to look at your situation objectively, with no judgment, with no feelings. Whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, you just want the information, the hard facts. The next hat is the red hat. The red hat is a complete opposite. It's your gut feeling, it's intuition. It's the feelings that you get with the decision. Even though the numbers don't add up, even though the facts don't add up, you still might want to do it. You want to take into consideration how others might respond to your decision. What will your future self, how will that person respond to the situation? It's pure gut, it's pure feeling. What makes this one difficult is that you can't quantify it. You can't put a number on it. But what does it make you feel like? When you have this red hat on, you're safe to feel that way. You're safe to go with your gut. Write these things down. Write what your thoughts are about this decision that you have coming up. If you make this decision, how will you think that will feel? If you make that decision, how do you think that will feel? The red hat's very important because you don't want to minimize how you feel despite what the numbers say. The next hat is the black hat. The black hat represents worst case scenario. When you're wearing this black hat, it is doom and gloom. You are poking a hole in all the reasoning. You are thinking worst case scenario, you're skeptical, you're judgmental, and that's okay. When you have this black hat on, it's okay to think that way. It's okay to wonder the worst case scenario because that's the point of it. Too many times when we make these decisions, when we set our goals, all we're thinking about is rainbows and unicorns and leprechauns, something like that. But with the black hat on, you have a chance to have a dark cloud over it. This is your chance to look at worst case scenario, to poke holes in it, and to tear it down completely. The next hat is a yellow hat, complete opposite of the black hat. This is best case scenario. You can look at things with rose-colored glasses. You can think about and be hopeful and consider the luck that it's going to take to achieve whatever you're going to achieve. Whether it be trying to get fit, trying to be more financially stable, trying to strengthen your relationships, whatever you're trying to do, however you're trying to go, wherever you're trying to go. The yellow hat, when you have this on, You always want to think best case possible, best case scenario, and purely, solely look at the positive. Which leads us to the green hat, which is the creativity side. When you have this hat on, this is your chance to be creative, to think outside the box. Just because no one's considered these ideas before, that doesn't mean you can't, because you got that green hat on. When you have the green hat on, think about other possibilities, other ways you can get to the outcome despite the way other people are trying to prescribe them to you. This is where you look at first principles. What do you really want to achieve? This is where you really understand you can be creative and to look at ways that nobody else is looking at. The blue hat is going to help you organize all of these things. And so when you have this blue hat on, that's where the worker goes to work. That's where you put the rubber to the road. This is where you operationalize and you make an actual plan on how you're going to execute this decision. So there you have it, the 6 hats to help you keep things in perspective. You have the white hat for information. You have the red hat for your feelings, your emotions. You have the black hat for worst case scenario. You have the yellow hat for best case scenario. You have the green hat for creativity. And then you have the blue hat to put it all together. Which hat comes easiest to you and which hat is the hardest for you to do? I'd love to know. Please like and subscribe if you like this channel, this video, and hit that bell so that you know when the next video comes out. Thanks for joining me, guys.